The value of time. Smith was always in a hurry, yet somehow always late. He had spent his whole life chasing time, but it always slipped through his fingers like sand. A successful businessman, he owned a chain of luxury hotels and had more money than he could ever spend. Yet deep inside, he always felt an emptiness. His calendar was filled with meetings, flights, and business deals, but he had no time for himself, no time for life. One evening, after a long day of negotiations, Smith sat alone in his penthouse suite, staring at the city skyline. The twinkling lights of the buildings reminded him of stars, beautiful but distant. His phone buzzed, displaying a reminder: Dad's birthday, 10 years today. He sighed. It had been a decade since his father had passed away, and he had been too busy to visit his grave. As he poured himself a drink, he noticed an old, dusty pocket watch lying on his desk. It had belonged to his father, passed down through generations. He had ignored it for years, considering it just another antique. But tonight, something compelled him to pick it up. The moment he clicked it open, the world around him blurred. His luxurious penthouse dissolved, and he found himself standing in his childhood home. The scent of freshly baked bread filled the air. A warm voice called out, "Smith, wash your hands. Dinner is ready." His heart pounded. He knew that voice. It was his mother's. He turned around and saw his childhood self, a boy of 10, running toward the dinner table. His father sat at the head, smiling. Smith's hands trembled. "How is this possible?" "You've always wanted more time," a voice beside him said. He turned to see an old man dressed in a crisp suit holding a golden pocket watch similar to his. "Who are you?" Smith asked. "I am the keeper of time," the old man replied. "This watch lets you revisit the moments you took for granted." Smith's breath caught in his throat. "Can I change anything?" The keeper shook his head. "No, you can only witness." Smith watched as his younger self laughed with his parents. He saw his father place a gentle hand on the boy's head. "Time is the most precious thing we have," his father said. "Spend it wisely." The scene shifted. Smith was now 16, standing outside his home with a suitcase. His father was urging him to stay a little longer, but young Smith was impatient. "I don't have time, Dad. College starts soon." Older Smith whispered, "Stay a little longer." But his younger self had already left. The memories kept shifting. His graduation, where his father sat in the back, clapping proudly. The day he got his first job, too busy to answer his father's call. The day his father fell ill, and Smith promised to visit but never did. Finally, he saw the hospital room. His father lay weak on the bed. Young Smith entered, holding a bouquet. But it was too late. His father smiled faintly. "You finally found the time." Then he closed his eyes forever. Tears streamed down Smith's face. "I should have spent more time with him." The keeper of time placed a hand on his shoulder. "Time never stops. It only moves forward. You cannot change the past, but you can change how you use the time you have left." In a blink, Smith was back in his penthouse, holding the pocket watch. It was ticking steadily, a reminder that time was still moving. For the first time, he understood its true value. The next day, he canceled all his meetings and took a flight home. He visited his father's grave, sat there for hours, and spoke as if his father could hear him. Then, he went to see his mother, who was shocked but overjoyed. From that day on, Smith changed. He still worked hard, but he made time for the people who mattered. He no longer chased time, he embraced it, and in doing so, he finally found peace.